Welcome back to the Weights and Glory podcast. I'm Walter.
I'm Ethan. Let's get into it.
So, have you ever seen that meme? It's Kevin Spacey, and he's holding a mask over his face of himself. And the meme is, it's like, new year, new me. And so he moves it, and it's just him behind it.
No, I don't think so. But
It's funny because that's the thing with New Year's resolutions is people want to change, and they're so eager to drastically change as many things about their life as they can. They want to start a new habit. They want to go to the gym, start a business, whatever it may be. And it's so many things all at once, and they give up on it a month in, not even.
yeah, I think there's a lot of situations like that, not just around New Year's, but I think that's definitely the most prominent time that people just, it almost is just gives them like a reason or an excuse to change something when they just haven't had the willpower or whatever it may be, just didn't feel like it. Well, then it comes around the New Year, it's like, okay, now it's time. Now it's time to make a change. And
it's not that, I mean, it being a new year, it's almost like a mental reset.
Yeah.
Where, okay, it's easy to track progress. So throughout the year, say it's July, and you've been consistent with whatever habit or new resolution you've started. You say, oh, I've been doing this for 6 months now. It's a good mile marker,
yeah.
Like a good timestamp almost. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you can't start a new habit or resolution just out of the blue. A lot of people, like a new month or this coming Monday to start the week off right. You can start it whenever you want, but people tend to do it on the new year, and that's not a bad thing, but it's how you go about the resolution, and we'll get more into that.
Yeah, and I definitely think any gym goers can relate to showing up. Everybody in the gym community that if you work out at a commercial gym knows that the first month of the year is the worst to go to the gym, just because you have so many people there that all the new people coming in, nothing wrong with it. Awesome that more people are getting in the gym, but it's only bad for a month because you know that's about how long they're going to last. All the new people that come in, they rush the gym, time wears off, they get tired of it, don't have a plan, whatever it may be, and then just leave. They're done. And I think a lot of the reason that the average gym goer doesn't like that is because, one, the people that are coming in have no idea what they're doing. Not a bad thing as long as you're trying to figure it out. A lot of people go in there and not know what they're doing and still just fool around for an hour and then leave. Like you see all those like crazy gym videos of people using all the equipment wrong and doing crazy stuff. But and I think part of that is they just don't ask people for advice. They just, I'll do whatever. I'll do my own thing. Yeah. Not wrong again, but a lot of it's ridiculous.
Then they don't see results, that being part of it,
yeah.
On top of not being consistent. So when you are starting in the gym or starting your new endeavor, you need to go into it with a plan.
Yeah.
You might not know a bunch about it. I mean, we started this podcast not knowing really anything, but we just kind of dove head first.
Yeah.
And we're learning along the way, and we're being consistent with it. And that's just like with anything else. You need to have a plan. You need to stay consistent. And there's that common outline for how to set a goal, like SMART goals.
Yeah.
And I don't want to dig too deep into that, but the main points are making your goal specific, achievable, and give it a time frame. So instead of, I want to be stronger, you're not giving yourself a timeline. You're not being specific. You need to say, I want to increase my bench press by this much weight. Now, how are you going to go about that? I'm just going to go in and lift. No, have a plan. Now, when do you want to achieve that goal by? You need to break everything down into little smaller chunks.
Yeah.
And that's how you can achieve that. And it's the same with growing in your faith.
Mm-hmm.
I want to grow closer to God. Well, how are you going to do that? I'm going to read the Bible for 15 minutes every day. I'm going to follow, like you said earlier, read the Bible in a year plan.
Mm-hmm.
Set those specific goals. I'm going to pray at these points during the day, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and creating a plan is definitely one of the biggest parts of staying consistent at anything. And if you go in, like you said, with just some generic, very non-specific goal, like most people do, when you get into the gym, it might just be, oh, I want to get abs. And then you see that you don't have abs in the first month, and then you're tired of it and you quit. So it should be, I want to lose like 2% body fat in this amount of time, whatever it may be. And I think that will really help stay consistent. But the thing about making a plan is you can make a plan all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't immediately create the discipline to follow that plan, you're never gonna go by the plan. So I think that creating that discipline, and we've talked about discipline over and over again, but it's just such a big foundation of our faith, our fitness journey, life.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline plays such a vital role, because if you do not have the discipline to stay consistent and follow your plan, the plan means absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to make sure that whenever people are making these new goals and whatever it may be, go ahead and get your mind right to, no matter what, I've set this goal, I'm going to do what I got to do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And forget about the motivation. It's good when it comes, but it's fleeting. You have to stay disciplined. You have to stay willing to put in the effort to follow the goal that you have created,
mm-hmm.
to get to the end goal.
And I think what will make it easier to be and stay disciplined in something is to make sure that whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever goal you have set for yourself, is something that you truly care about, that you are passionate about.
Yeah.
I could set a goal for a million different things,
mm-hmm.
where in my mind, like, that'd be nice if I did that, or at the end of it, actually, that'd be awesome. But I don't have a passion about it, so I'm not going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to learn a language, like I've always thought, learning Spanish would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I was living in Japan, learning Japanese would be so cool. But I can't speak either one, so obviously I didn't care about it enough.
Yeah.
I didn't stay disciplined with it because it wasn't that important to me.
Yeah.
If it's important enough, just like making time for something, if it's important enough, you'll make time for it. If it's important enough, you will put in the effort to grow in whatever it is.
Yeah. And in our situations, fitness-wise, it's like you were skinny and you wanted to get big because you didn't like the way that your body looked. Well, I mean, I wanted to get smaller because I hated the way that my body was, whatever it may be. I let myself go. But once you start, and I think that a lot of people can relate in the way we do, is like once I started, it was like I can't quit now because I can't go back
Mm-hmm.
to how I was. So it's almost like keeping that mental image, or keeping that, not necessarily, yes, there's a goal that I want to get to, but keeping the reason for why I want to achieve that goal, like in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get that discipline,
Mm-hmm.
is because I can't go back to the way I was. And that can be in any different way, because if you are choosing to make a resolution, that means you want to change. That means you don't like something that is currently going on, the way that something is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just completely forget about the way that, whatever it may be, I couldn't just forget about, I used to be 265 pounds. I don't need to just forget about that, because that's what's going to keep me pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you kind of get some of the motivation too, is you have to remember why you started.
That's what I was just about to say. You have to remember where you came from.
Yes.
And so as you progress, just using the example for
Mm-hmm.
us in fitness, as we progress in our strength and our physique, we look back and remember why we started, and we don't want to revert back to that.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's
the why.
also, exactly. And it's also easy to, fitness specifically,
Mm-hmm.
to think about it like, I've made all this progress, and you've seen how much progress you've made, even if you've only been working out 6 months to a year,
Mm-hmm.
and like, I've seen the progress, and that motivates you to keep going.
Yes.
It motivates you to keep going, but like we said, it comes back to the discipline,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps you disciplined
Well, it
because
shows
you know
you, yeah.
that the hard work that you've been putting in is doing something.
Yes.
So just keep putting it in, and you will keep progressing.
Yeah, it shows you what the discipline is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps you keep that discipline. Because I'm not gonna lie, I get so tired of lifting. I get tired of the gym, but there's been a lot of things in my life where I was super passionate about it for a certain amount of time, and it was like I got tired of it, so I quit. But now with this, it's like, yes, there's times that I get tired of it, but I have to remember the why. Why did I start?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going for? What am I trying to achieve? And that's what can help you keep going. That's what fuels that. And if you can push yourself through those times of not being passionate about it anymore, or getting through the times of I just don't feel like it, you let that discipline push you through. Then you come back to the next week. You might be like, man, I'm glad I'm here. Like, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's awesome. You're going to have rough patches like that in everything.
Yeah. And I think also setting goals that obviously mean something to you, but have a deeper purpose almost. So for us in the gym, it's more than just how we look and a physique. I always reference my dad, who is 60 years old, and he can hang with the rest of them. He's always talking about at work. He's the only one there at the hospital that lifts these people, moves them around all the time, 300, 400 plus pounds, because he's the only one that can do it. And he's 60 years old.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else needs to get their act together up there. But anyways, I digress. So longevity in that case for working out. Like, I want to be able to play with my grandkids.
Yep.
Now, that's a long time away, but that's something I keep in the back of my head. Same with if your goal is to, and this is one of mine, I want to get promoted at work. So I need to learn more about my job, be consistent, and continue to work hard because I want to get promoted, because I want to make more money, because I want to provide for my future family and set them up for success.
Yeah. And like you said about your dad, and it's the same. I mean, we've worked out with your dad, we've worked out with my dad, and they're both about the same age, both hitting the gym. And I don't know if I'll have a son, but if I do, it's like I want to be able to come in and hang with them when lifting one day. Like, that just seems like a really cool goal. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with a big reason for this is longevity. Just not being old and out of shape. And I mean, whenever I get into my 60s, no, I want to look like I'm in like my 30s when I'm 60. And I want to be in great shape, not necessarily for myself, but for my family, for my kids, for possibly grandkids, whatever the situation may be. Yeah, I just want, it's a big part of just the health aspect. Because then you think about that, less doctor's appointments, less times in the hospital, you're saving all that money. Think about that. Because
you're being proactive.
Yeah, exactly. Because you think about all the different medications you would have to be on, high blood pressure and all this cholesterol, all this stuff that you could prevent by hitting the gym an hour a day.
That talking about the medicine, my dad said that too, how he's just very recently had to start taking just a little bit of medicine, whereas people have been taking that medicine since they were 40.
Yeah.
And he's just had to start doing that because he's just finally reached that age, that point. But
yeah, my dad, he took blood pressure medicine probably since his 40s, and he's been hitting the gym crazy with us and with me for like a year and a half now. He just stopped taking his blood pressure medicine a couple months ago. The doctor said, no, you don't need it anymore. It's crazy, the differences it can make. And
that just goes to show you it's never too late.
Yes.
A lot of people think, oh, I'm too old now. I can't do it because of X, Y, and Z. That's a prime example.
Yeah, that's a terrible excuse. And I get it, but yeah, don't let your age keep you from putting in work and bettering your physique, your body, and your health. Don't ever let the age stop you.
Yeah. Granted, the earlier you start, the better. I mean, if you can start now, start now. They say the best time to start was yesterday.
Yep.
The second best time to start is today.
Yeah, I always kick myself for not starting earlier. But that's something where yes, there's a lot of times and a lot of things in everybody's lives. It's like, man, why didn't I just start that earlier? Same way with me running from God's will for my life. It's like, man, why wasn't I listening? Why was I being so dumb? Why didn't I just start earlier? But you have to realize you started now.
Mm-hmm.
You have now. So you gotta hit it hard, and you gotta do everything you can to try to make up for the lost time.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you're not going to get it back. So don't dwell on the past.
Yeah.
But put in a little bit extra work when you think about that.
You can't go back and change it, so there's no point in worrying about it,
Exactly.
dwelling on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting now, so now put in the work.
Yeah. So, and that actually kind of brings you to the verse I wanted to read. I got James 4:13-17. Says, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city, spend a year there, buy and sell, and make a profit. Whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. But now you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. Therefore, to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin." And so what I get from that verse is that whenever sometimes we get too caught up in making lifelong plans, and that's where it comes back into make short-term achievable, I mean short-term goals that are achievable. You know you can get to that. And what the first part of the verse is talking about is we get too caught up in, I need to make all these plans because we think we have the control. We think that we are in control of our lives, which is wrong. I mean, we need to make sure that we're aligning our plans around God's will, not the other way around. We don't need to make God's will or make God's will fit into our will. We should be making our will fit into His. And when you may ask yourself, how do I make my plan for working out in the gym fit around God's will? Pray about it. Pray and see, how many times am I going to be able to go to the gym? Maybe I need to take off these days because I got church, or I got this, or I got this. I need to set aside this time. Make sure that you're not putting it in a way that will hinder you from your relationship with God. And I'm not saying there's necessarily a wrong way with coming into the gym and planning to hit the gym that goes against God unless you're putting it above Him. Mm-hmm. But just pray for His will in every aspect of your life. And the thing is, when He gives you the answer, obey it. Mm-hmm. But make sure that we're not creating our plans so far down the line, because that's so dumb. You're never going to be able to plan out your entire life.
Mm-hmm. I like to think of it also too with what you were saying about the gym, and like how can you relate that, and how can going to the gym be in His will. I kind of relate it to money. I mean, that's a big part of everyone's life. You want to make more, you want to save it, you want to be able to spend it, whatever the case. Where I'm planning for my future and my family's future, and granted, I don't know where God will put us and what's going to happen, but that doesn't mean I can't pray about it, while also, after tithes get taken out of the check, I'm still being smart with my money. I'm still putting it back. So whenever God wants to put us wherever at, mm-hmm. I'm still prepared. I'm not being stupid about it.
Yeah. And this verse isn't saying planning is bad. It's just saying planning out of self-righteousness, planning out of our own will, planning based around what we think we can control. That is wrong. Mm-hmm. That is boastful, and that is wrong in the eyes of the Lord. Mm-hmm. So it's not wrong to make a plan as long as you're abiding by His will. Yeah. But the second half of this verse, it says, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. So, dude, time is short. And we've talked about it before, our lifetime in reference to all of eternity. And mm-hmm. it's nothing.
Nothing.
So, don't waste time. Don't waste time trying to make sure everything is right, or wait for someone to give you a sign, whatever it may be. Don't waste the time. that you have now on worrying about where to start or how to start.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and start. You can figure that out while you're going. But don't waste the time right now. And just like we said, in certain aspects, and for me with the gym, I wish I would have started sooner because I feel like all that is wasted time that I wasn't doing it. But don't waste time in your faith. Don't waste time running from the Lord like I did also. And don't waste time not building a healthy body and a body that is in great shape that you're taking care of for your benefit and for the benefit of your relationship with God.
Mm-hmm. That makes me think when people ask, mainly I guess when you're about to propose, they say, oh, when are you going to do this? Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting for the perfect time. And the thing is, there is never a perfect time.
Yeah, there's not.
You just have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So like you were saying, you just gotta start.
Mm-hmm.
Stop, beating around the bush,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Yeah. And more towards the end, it says, therefore to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is a sin. And we can look at many aspects of our life because we've talked about how we think lifting is biblical in a sense of being good stewards of what we have been given and taking care of our bodies because it's the temple of the Holy Spirit. We know that lifting is good, and not necessarily lifting in general, but fitness is good for our bodies. Healthy. Yeah, it's good. Staying healthy is good. So we all know that's good, and if you're not doing that, it is a sin. It's the sin of omission. It's the sin of not necessarily doing something that is wrong, but not doing something that is right.
Mm.
So we have to make sure that, and there's a lot of things in our lives that will apply to. And in your faith, there's so many times where there might be somebody that we see that may or may not know the gospel, whatever it may be. We're in a situation where there's somebody that we could go talk to them, and we know that is what God would want, mm-hmm. but we might not feel like, oh, the Holy Spirit's telling me to go do it right now. Mm-hmm. But we just know that we could. Mm-hmm. But then, oh, no, I'm going to go this way. Sin by omission. Not doing what we know is right.
Yeah. Not
necessarily doing something that is wrong, but you're not doing something that is right. Thus creates the sin of being wrong.
That's a really good way to put it. I don't think I've ever heard it like that, mm-hmm. or anything. It makes me think of when you don't tell the whole truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I didn't tell him this part. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling him the whole truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That and we're all guilty of sin by omission, and I think it's something that you really need to take the time to think about, because just because I've heard this before, my dad preached on it before, but it's you can do the right thing the wrong way. And so, but the other side of that, you can do the wrong thing the right way, but we have to look at, am I coming into the gym to get better, or am I just doing it just to say that I've got a New Year's resolution, I'm doing this? Mm-hmm. But you're not really doing it. You're showing up, but you're not really doing it. What's the point then? Mm-hmm. If you're not going to actually go put in the work and do it how it should be done, then what's the point in doing it at all? You're doing the right thing the wrong way. Mm-hmm. But it's then
like showing up to church every Sunday. That's your resolution, and you're doing it, and you can now say, yep, I've been to church every Sunday. But if you're not actively opening your heart and your ears and your mind and everything else to what the preacher's word given from God to give to you, then you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
If you're not praying and worshiping God in mm-hmm. the church, there was really no point. You might as well not have gone at all.
Yeah. It all comes back to heart posture. Like what is your heart posture in this situation? Because same reason, you can do the right thing the wrong way. Go into church, but your heart's not in it. You're there physically, but you are not there spiritually. So what's the point? all you would be doing is possibly being a distraction for somebody else. So I'm not saying, oh, if you're not saved, don't go to church. No, I'm saying go with the intent to learn. Go with the intent to better your relationship or to have a relationship with God. Don't go to sit in a pew, check off the checklist, and go home, because that's not benefiting you in any way.
Because especially as Southern Baptists, it'll be getting at 11:30, and
Oh, they ready?
it's what are we having for lunch? Where are we going to go eat?
Yeah. And I used to be like that because I just went to church to make people happy and check off a box. But it's like now when people are like that, I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, yeah, everybody has lives outside of this. You have stuff to do. But guess what? Maybe God has put in that on that preacher's heart to preach an hour-and-a-half sermon. Everything in it, because God has things that he wants the preacher to say that is specific to certain people in that congregation. And if he cuts it off short, they're not going to get it. So you never know what God has laid on that pastor's heart. You don't know how long they should be. You don't know how short it should be. And I think that, which we're getting off on a tangent, but I think that if you're really going to church for the right reasons, you could sit there till 2 o'clock and you'd be perfectly fine with it.
Because it's almost selfish to think that way, that you think that you're so important that, oh, it's time to wrap it up, preacher.
Yeah, I got other things to do.
I've got other things to do whenever someone else, like you said, needs that word. You're not the only one in that church.
Yeah.
You're not that
And maybe
important.
it's you that needs it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you that needs to sit there that extra 5 minutes to hear what the pastor's saying. So get off your watch and pay attention. And I think that we've all been guilty of that, because we all think that the other aspects of our lives are so important, and we can't sit in church for 3 hours and not think about other things. And I get it. I've been there too. But the thing is, you have to realize and remember, why are you there? Remember the why. Why are you there?
Yeah, and I've been in that same situation before too. But then I've also been in the reverse, where I'm just so dialed in to what the preacher's saying, and all of a sudden he's wrapping it up, and I'm like, dang, that was quick.
Yeah.
And it's because I was just so locked in, and I was absorbing everything. Because sometimes I get off track sometimes. I feel like that's Satan creeping in, and I like, oh, God, put me back on track. It's like I missed the last couple seconds where the preacher said, bring me back, please.
Yeah, and honestly, something that helped me, because I have a terrible attention span, and I think that's why God made me a preacher and wanted me to be a preacher, because I have a hard time sitting in the congregation and really being able to pay attention the whole time. But what really did help me was take some notes. Sit there and write down the points that the pastor's saying. But don't just write down what he's saying. Pick out points that spoke to you and write down what you got out of it. I mean, anybody that struggles with that, being able to pay attention in church, and you feel like, oh, I'm not getting anything out of this. Well, one, you get in what you you get out what you put in. But also, I mean, figure out ways. Take notes, whether it's in your phone or write it on a piece of paper. But things like that can help benefit you a lot, because if you're going to the church, you should be wanting to gain as much knowledge as you can. So there's no reason to put a time limit on God.
It's funny that you mentioned that about your attention span and being a preacher, because that's kind of back to what I told you the other day about me being in the praise band, where if I'm in the congregation and I'm singing, it's not like I wouldn't sing, but I'd be real critical of the music and everything. And so it's real hard to explain. I don't want to take it out of and make it sound bad, like I don't enjoy worship, but
helps you focus on it.
Yeah, I'm using my musical talents that God gave me, putting it back in, and using that as my act of worship. And so even though I might not be singing while I'm playing the drums, I can feel the presence. I can hear the words. I hear the congregation sing, and that's, I get way more out of it now than I ever did before.
Yeah, no, and I think that's how God uses people. But that's how he uses people in certain ways, not just for them to benefit others, but for them to get it out, get the same feeling out of it, or get the same worship, or get the same knowledge, whatever it may be, out of it the same way that others do. Like, I get a lot more out of preaching a sermon because I always feel like I'm preaching to myself. But I always get a lot more out of preaching a sermon than I do when I'm sitting in the congregation. Not because, I'm so great and I do all these things great, because, no, I'm still a new preacher and I mess up all the time. But it helps me to focus and really dig into the Word and dig into what God has laid on my heart. And aside from even the studying and preparation beforehand, but like while I'm preaching it, there'll be points in there that I start to say, and I'm like, dang. It's like, all right, God, I get it. You speaking to me too. But I think that God uses people in so many different ways. But I think we got a little off topic, but it's definitely still good.
Oh no, for sure.
But
just kind of wrapping that part up, just asking for God's will to be done.
Yeah.
And being obedient in
whatever He tells you.
Because it's easy to ask His will be done, but then you get impatient, go do your own thing.
Yep.
Because you couldn't wait 5 more minutes to
Yep.
see what God had laid out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to just the goals, the New Year's resolutions, what have you, making them not superficial, kind of like what we were saying, making them worth your while. Going to the gym is worth the while. Going to church, following God, growing closer to God, that's worth the while.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your goal be, I want to binge watch 5 Netflix shows this year. Which that sounds so stupid.
That is dumb.
I just threw that out there. But make it worth the while. Make it have an impact that can have
benefits your life.
Benefits the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Going to the gym does that.
Mm-hmm.
Following God does that. That's why those are 2 of my favorite things.
Yeah, benefits your life and benefits your spiritual walk, which will benefit your life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that my summarization is just New Year's resolutions aren't bad as long as you do them the right way and create a discipline to really achieve those and stick with them. But life's short, man. Don't wait till the new year. Start whenever you get the feeling that you should.
Mm-hmm. And I had a verse, probably would have been a little better tied in earlier, but it's Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent certainly lead to profit, but anyone who is reckless certainly becomes poor. So basically just ties into discipline.
Yep.
And I mean, you're planning. You plan to follow God.
Mm-hmm.
You plan to follow His will. I mean, what else more do you need? And staying diligent in that path,
mm-hmm.
whatever hardships come, you're staying disciplined. You're staying diligent through all those things that come in your life. Then what else is there to worry about?
Yep. Don't be reckless with serious things in your life, because we get too caught up in, well, this ain't that serious. Well, it might not be now, but then you catch up. It might not be that big of a deal in my 20s to start my fitness journey. Well, jump 20 years in the future, it's a flash before your freaking eyes, and then you're big, out of shape, having health problems here and there, and it's like, man, should have started when I thought about it in my 20s. So I that's kind of what I get from that verse or, man, God's calling me to do this in my life, but I would put it off a little bit and figure it out 10 years down the line. Man.
We'll see. Right now, just using us as an example because we're young, we got a lot of problems. Mm-hmm. But if we were out of shape and everything else, 30 years down the line, we get a health problem. Now that is our only problem.
Yep.
You got a lot of problems until you have a health problem. Then you only have one problem.
Yeah. Yep.
So don't let that be one of them.
Yep. Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Stay ready. Lift heavy.
Yeah.